We're going to Boston. We only have about 18 hours in the city, so let's see how much we can see and learn in this short amount of time. We made it to Boston! We just came back from the car park. We're parking our car, and we found some festivities over here. We're gonna go check those out before going back to the hotel and getting ready for dinner and a walk around town. Boston is one of the oldest cities in the USA, which means it's steeped in history. You've probably heard about the Boston Tea Party, where American colonists dumped 342 chests of tea in the Boston Harbor to protest the British for imposing taxation without representation. That was one of the first protests in American history. In fact, it occurred about 3 years before the United States even became a country. So Boston is known for being a city of firsts. It hosts the country's first public school, the nation's first subway system, and its first public park, the Boston Common. The Common wasn't always the peaceful park we see today. It used to be private farmland bought back by the citizens of Boston in 1634, and until the 1800s, it was even used for public hangings. There's still a burying ground you can see today. Paul has his book out on Boston.
Oh, sorry, this way.
Just walking through Boston Commons right now. It's so beautiful and so peaceful. It's so weird, like, Boston is so quiet right now. I've not heard any horns or any ambulances or anything. It feels like a small town, which I like a lot. Definitely a livable city. Get on it, get on the Boston wagon.
Catch us in Boston in a few years.
According to the Deutsche Bank, Boston is actually the 8th best city in the world in terms of quality of life. It's the highest ranking American city on the list. Boston is the capital of the state of Massachusetts, and here you can see the Capitol building showing its support for the Celtics, Boston's basketball team, who proceeded to lose against the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals just a few days after this was filmed. With a historic city comes a historic cemetery, and Boston is no different. The Granary Burying Ground is the final resting place for many figures in American history, such as Sam Adams, John Hancock, Paul Revere, and even members of Benjamin Franklin's family. Following the Freedom Trail is a fantastic way to take in all the historic sites Boston has to offer. Many city maps have it outlined, and you can also find signs like this sprinkled around town. Quincy Market is a great place to stop for lunch when you're in town. They have a little bit of everything, including Boston staples like lobster rolls and clam chowder. Everywhere we go, Paul has to get his little coin, don't you?
Just $1.
We're now on our way to the Union Oyster House, a must-eat in Boston. And it just so happens to be the city's oldest restaurant. A very fun fact about this restaurant is that Louis-Philippe, then the future king of France, lived right upstairs while he was in exile. Apparently, he made a living teaching French to Boston's fashionable young ladies. Some New England clam chowder. Have you ever had any before? Oh, wow, yum. You really like that cornbread, huh?
Never had.
Never had?
Nope.
Well, I have to get your first spoonful, yeah. Creamy. Let me taste. Oh, that actually tastes better than I thought it would. So this is a hot lobster roll, and that's the cold one.
Fair enough.
Hello, hello! Good morning from Boston!
Good morning.
We just checked out of our hotel, just finished breakfast, and we are on our way to go pick up the car. And after that, we will be going to Cambridge, Massachusetts, which is where Harvard and MIT are. So we're gonna take a little walk around campus. We made it to Harvard, and now we have this accent all of a sudden. And you probably guessed it, but Harvard is the first university in North America. And this guy, John Harvard, was the founder. Apparently it's good luck to go up to his statue and touch his shoe, so here's me doing that. Harvard is an Ivy League school and holds a record number of honors and awards. It has educated 161 Nobel laureates, 132 Pulitzer Prize winners, and 23 heads of state. So yeah, I definitely felt out of place. Back in the car now, just visited Cambridge. It was really lovely, really quaint. Went into the bookshop, bought a book. And now I think I'm gonna leave this vlog here. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you join me in my next vlog, because today we're going to drive down to Rhode Island and then Connecticut. And a couple days from now, we're going to be going to New York City and seeing Paul McCartney live in concert. Stay tuned because there's some good stuff coming. Bye!